Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after our short break here. We got another match for you. SVSU Red versus University of Delaware Academy. This will be a great first match here. I'm very excited. Going back to Lijiang. That's where we started for our blue team match. Not but an hour ago. We get to see it again and see how the teams approach this differently. Oh wait, do we not have audio? But we cannot hear. My headphones are on. Yeah.
Sure they're on?
It has the green light.
Now
It's got the green light. It's not big deal. No big deal.
And no big deal.
Technical difficulties. But anyway, welcome by the way, anyone from the University of Delaware is watching. Oh, now we're good. Watching. Let's see. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun to everybody. Excited for the game. Oh, we have skins. Let's go.
Ooh, let's go.
We got skins. Looks like Delaware is going for the. Looks like both teams do the exact same thing. Go for the sim TP. Get up on the high ground. We got the Ram mirror match. This is really brawly. People are gonna die very quickly in this match. Already Shadow Wing goes down. Viddy's on the ropes. It's gonna be tough to get back from that. Sagnar's probably gonna back out from there. Looks like they're gonna try to control this point. This is really interesting. I see most teams when they back out will back all the way towards their spawn, but Saginaw is simply backed up to a position that, even down a player, they can defend pretty reliably. Setting up and making sure Delaware can't get them. Here we go, we're going for the teleport play into the back line. I don't think they send anyone through. It's just a distraction, and it works. Viddy goes through, pummels into the front line, and finds a kill. Joe Biden Pog. Or Bojiden. Oh, crap. Bojiden finds the wall, and that first kill. I think Saginaw will be able to take it. Yeah, they'll be able to take it. What are we looking at? What are the differences in these team comps as this is finishing up?
Mainly just a Sojourn in the May, it looks like. Both teams are rocking them. Oh, and we have Zippy on Baptiste instead of the Kiriko for Delaware. So this is kind of... I think this leans naturally a lot better towards SVSU, especially. Having the May to kind of guarantee block off, hey, this doorway, you're not coming through this doorway, is very crucial in this, and it's very good for just blocking off a support. A lot of good team play, especially at this high of a level where you can guarantee to get some form of commitment to those plays without needing a lot of like super intense communication for it. It's gonna be huge for Saginaw here. And it's gonna be kind of hard because you can't sim TP really outside of a May wall unless the sim TP is already up. So it's one of those situations where you got to be super careful. If you're Delaware, you just gotta make sure you gotta be really sticking together. Can't really afford to let May get any kind of like free real estate off of those May walls. We see it pulling out a lot of early damage onto the Ramatra. Ramatra it'd be very crucial about making sure to like keep ducking and weaving behind that main pillar there. We see the Sim TP trying to get some just like juke potential. We see the May Blizzard coming out from SVSU. Ooh, getting the Annihilate's huge for SVSU. Very, very good reaction by SVSU to just kind of react with. They're gonna go in with their Annihilate. We're gonna go in with our Annihilate and make sure that they can't really get any forward pressure because we're just gonna May Blizzard.
Oh, down goes the overclock too. Saginaw's getting a whole bunch of ults out of Delaware for free. What the sim turret on the Mayo's luck. That's silly. Saginaw's doing a great job at I'd say finding kills. That's what their big strength is right now. Both teams are occasionally getting a little bit split up, but Saginaw is finding those kills, especially turning around and taking a second to do like a 2v1 or a 3v1, that kind of thing in the middle of a team fight. That teamwork is going really hard. Oh, blocking off that ultimate, that's huge from Saginaw, throwing that Maywall to stop Delaware from coming in and entering onto site. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of damage. They won't find any kills. Oh, the ult trade back and forth here. Who's gonna come out on top? Pretty much every ult is on the playing field right now. Delaware loses the first, Saginaw loses the second, Delaware loses another. Delaware loses another 4v2, Saginaw favored 1v3?
1v3, yep. It's just the Ramatras.
We'll go down and Saginaw will take that. That was fast. It's already over. What happened?
It feels like a fever dream almost. That's how fast it went.
That was. I don't know why I'm like so shocked, but the first Lijiang we saw today within the other match went a lot slower.
I think part of that was just overtime.
There was like no overtime there. Yeah, there was no overtime.
No overtime. Plus, SVSU did a really good job of. They do a really good job here of just getting lots of kill confirms.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, like, hey, I'm shooting this general direction. Hey, there's someone that's low. Everyone just immediately pivots over, bops that target in the head, make sure that that person goes down. There isn't any chance to come back. We do see here as we start up that looks like Delaware's opting for a Lucio and Ana.
Ooh, big speed.
Big speed instead of the they had Juno. Yeah, they did have a Juno. So like, instead of the optional like one quick bullet burst speed, it's consistent speed. which could prove very useful for Delaware here.
Oh, there's the Tracer.
Yeah, it's a lot. This is a lot more confined of a map, meaning that Juno's flight isn't as versatile here. So getting like having a lot of the space and a lot of the ability for Lucio to just kind of go zooming around the point, making sure that there's some way for him to get utility, whether it's through damage or being able to just quickly come back to a teammate, is going to be huge. We see, SVSU kind of getting pincered here almost. Got Ramatra from one side and the TPS on the other. SVSU taking care of like the farther high ground from point in comparison to the far back high ground that Delaware took. Kind of in a way, like perpendicular to the fights that we would see the last time we saw Li Jiang.
It is, yeah.
We see the Sojin getting a lot of getting a lot of long sightlines here.
Trying to get out of there and avoid follow-up damage, but didn't quite hit the cancel. We'll go off the map. This is pretty even. I think Saginaw's is still in a bit of a rougher spot. Well, maybe not. Nope, that was a kill of Saginaw.
Yeah, that was a sale on Saginaw, but it's kind of not too bad though, because like you're forcing. Like, you have the Tracer on the side there, but it kind of pulls away from the main fight, and because Tracer's got a lower health bar, it makes it, like, it's kind of, like, they don't have as lot of forward pressure on Delaware's side. Their pressure today comes from a lot of, like, those flanking routes from the Tracer off to the side, Lucio protecting the Ana to make sure, like, hey, if the Ramatra comes on the Ana, we just get the boop, because the boop will go farther. And I almost said they did a second boop, but that's Stadium. We do see, though, that like, honestly, SVSU kind of like splitting up. They're kind of like trying to get their own flanker off to the side there too to duel the Tracer, which is kind of being successful. The Tracer's being pushed back towards Delaware's side of the spawn. So honestly, SVSU doing a good job. Got Reggie there getting a quick little headshot on the Tracer to kill confirm. Ooh, a lot of good damage. Force out the Anane too.
Lots of damage, lots of pressure, but there's the Ramatra off who immediately find that first kill. Although Lucio's a bit in a rough spot, might not make it out. Can make it work. Trying to get around. Reggie's in a rough spot. Yeah, that's the thing with Cassidy. Just doesn't have too much mobility, and the rest of Saginaw is going to start getting cleaned up here. I wonder are they going to change anything up? They've been changing up the DPS line a little bit. Will they change anything else? We'll see.
A little bit. I imagine that if anything were to change, it would be the Junkrat, unfortunately, just because Junkrat's kind of it doesn't do well in a Tracer, because especially at this level, the Tracer's smart enough to know I can't just blink, I just can't blink into his face because he's just gonna cuss at me, and it's just not gonna go well for me. And like they keep enough range to where it's still unreliable for the Junkrat. Even though we see the long range duel here, kind of working out for Junkrat, forcing off to the Tracer from the side pressure into the tire. Does they pick up anyone though? That'll be the question.
Is it gonna get something? A lot of these characters can avoid it. We'll find the ram. The tank goes down. That's going to be huge. Saginaw gets to push on to point without anyone to make space or anyone to fight for the space. There'll be a little bit of damage. The Onanade will get a little bit of pressure, but Saginaw should be able to take it as the timer ticks up to just above 90%. One more team fight win for Delaware, and they'll have the map. Can Saginaw hold on for a solid like 3 team fights? Let's see if they can do it. The Ramatra here, so good at plugging up choke points with damage and shields.
Especially after the perk changes, giving him that, like, after shooting like 20 bullets, you get a bigger burst of shotgun shell. Like, it really gave the Omnic Former a good present. The Ajax is huge for SVSU. Even though Ramatra goes down, SVSU has a nano Junkrat. Can the Junkrat pull off the damage to be able to prevent them from recapturing this?
They're in a rough spot. They're trying to make it push forward on point and get something going. Oh, down goes one. Soup finds the kill with the Onanade. They might be able to pop on here. Pop on to the point and just snag it. Yep, timer's ticking up for Delaware.
There's enough time though.
Oh, the back window, but Ramatra's just gonna run past it with the ultimate and clear everybody out. The Sojourn is there to help clean up the extra bit of kills. That's gonna be huge. I don't think they have the Sombra to touch point and keep overtime going for a second, but won't be anything. I need to take a second. Did you just say Ajax?
I said
the arms.
No, I said Ajax because he popped arms and killed Lucio mid-beat.
Oh, is that the person's tag?
No, that's just what it is. If you kill someone during beat, that's you Ajaxed. Like the audio jack. You pulled out the audio jack. You cut off the beat.
Isn't there like a...
I think there's a different term
laundry
for it.
brand, like with the
Yes, I think that is also a laundry brand.
Then I thought that you were going for the arms. It come with a pro player that like would Lucio beat and die. Yeah,
probably.
That's kind of funny. This is.
I'm not making it up, I swear.
I'm derailing.
It's all right. Ooh, we see a
So
very
funny.
unconventional pick though. We see the Venture coming out.
The Pharah too. You don't see Pharah very often.
No, honestly, with the combined like aerial pressure of what's her name, Sojourn, like with the railgun kind of keeping the Pharah at bay, and the Venture that's going to be underground like a decent amount of time. It could honestly be kind of good for Saginaw here how this comp played out. We see the Venture going in from the back, kind of trying to get in some backline damage. We see them playing perpendicular to the point, which is kind of like one of those things that you notice a lot more, like the higher levels of play is like players will play perpendicular to the point rather than like parallel by going down the main lines on maps like this.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of early damage though on Delaware's Ramatra though. Getting the nade there, kind of trying to help, but
Oh, the reload! Bojine in the backline kills Soup, and that's gonna be our main source of healing. Now Rice Viz is gonna be in a tough spot with no extra support, and we'll go down. Saginaw will start the timer ticking for them.
absolutely. And honestly, even though that Bojino went down not too long after to the Pharah, that's still a positive trade for Saginaw. Trading a DPS that is whose job is meant to go after the backline for a backline is very crucial for Saginaw there. It meant that they kind of won the team fight because there was no one there to keep the Ramatra sustainably alive because of how slow Lucio healing is. We see them though kind of like again fighting perpendicular to the point, taking this back hallway. Ramatra putting on a lot of damage pressure, getting arms back in. Another kill for Bo Jiden.
Oh, the boob! The boob from the Pharah finds the kill on the Vidi.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be a bit of a problem. I think they'll be able to.
It's not
still
too
clean it up.
bad, though,
They can still
because-
clean it up.
Yeah, because you have the Venture to take away like some like forward attention because you can just burrow underneath and they still have to look at you. They can't just ignore you.
There was a Pharah going on. No, they just kind of shouldered Saginaw out of there. Just positioned. Well, that was a weird team.
A team fight where no one really died. You had like a boop kill and it kind of just ended the fight, but it's just how it goes because these players are disciplined. They understand that hey, we can't win this. Why are we trying to go for a reset when you all just escape safely?
The boobs. Who is this Pharah? This is crazy.
Well, Far is going insane right now, with a lot of good boops here, a lot of potential. We see Far potentially trying to set up for like an overhead, Justice nuke.
There it is. There it is. That's huge. Oh, the movement. Yes, that is my favorite perk in the game. Oh, that's huge. That ultimate's gonna find a whole bunch of damage.
Absolutely. And they pulled out SVSU's Juno and Venture ultimates, which is a huge loss for SVSU, unfortunately. Just having everyone just picked off by that Far ultimate meant they really couldn't make any advantage of it. Or take advantage of the Juno healing, I mean. And it's just so fast that nothing SVSU could really do there into that instant. They had Lamp, but Lamp just died to the Farah barrage.
Oh, here's the ult fight. This is gonna be big. I think Saginaw loses 2 right at the start here, but I don't know. The chances of these teams making it out of here.
They have Annihilate going, and they have both supports keeping a Vidi alive.
Nobody goes down. Sagnaw's gonna have to back up. Popping a number of ults on both sides. There's only gonna be 2 left on each side. Although Pharah might get barraged really quick.
Oh, Giant coming back with his own boop.
When did Saginaw pick? Why are there Pharahs on this game?
I mean, Farah and Li
People
Jiang.
don't play this character.
I love Farah and Li Jiang though.
It's so fun. I guess these players are showing why they do it here. This is the map for it.
Absolutely, we see. Ooh, Delaware's Annihilate did not go well because overclock into the back window is so huge for Saginaw. Oh my goodness, we didn't get to really see it, but there's so much forward damage just really broke down that entire aisle, like entryway. We see.
There's the Justice though.
The Justice, I think, secures it for overtime. I don't think Summer can make it. And that's round 1 to Delaware.
That was an experience.
Fever dream levels of experience. I'll say it again.
I don't know why this is so strange. Some teams all have ways that they play that like little niche, interactions and how they'll react to situations. And the 2 team chemistries here are bonking in a really odd way that looks different from a lot of what you normally see. The way they're taking fights, the angles and the engagements and when they're going feels unique.
Especially.
And I'm having a great time.
Yeah, oddly enough, I think part of it too is at this level you start seeing people take a lot more advantage of map geometry in comparison to like some of the lower ranks. Especially because on the second point, if you're fighting perpendicular, right, you've got your point to your right side or left side, depending on which side you're on, and then you've got like the pylon in the middle for your cover mainly. It's really risky for a lot of people. And here we saw they did one perpendicular. You had one team consistently going to the far right side, taking the trying to take the house more in the little pillar there, and then you had the other team coming in from the building that's got all the overhead cover on the right side. If you're coming from SVSU side there, and like because of that. Now you have the entire point your cover. You've got the whole building as your cover, and then you've got the whole pillar in the middle that's your cover because it's just a wall in front of you. Being able to recognize as a team like, hey, despite what most map conventions would say of just going straight around there, it's easier for all of us if we just fight perpendicular because there's more cover that way. And then that's where, especially like if you get up to pro levels, which is higher than like this, for example, like you can see then people start going. Conventional way there is you fight perpendicular. What if we fight sideways and force them to play no cover? And you get into the whole map geometry mind games of that, which makes games like this very fun for a lot of people, myself included.
I like this game. Kings Row. I think we're going to Kings Row, chat. This is exciting.
We hope.
I think that's what we're doing. I think that's what we're doing.
They could have had Kings Row. They could have had Kings Row for blue instead of Numbani.
If you're not gonna pick the GOAT, that's a good second in my eyes. That's a good second.
Understandable.
But Kings Row the classic. This is the good one. This is like a community favorite for sure. Community favorite. Yeah. Some of the best clips of all time have come from this map right here. The one what's the really good Widow one? We're getting a whole bunch of kills. That was a really kill.
Clip farming Widowmaker kills off of the entry off the window off of attacker spawn.
Wait, circuit?
What? We're getting questioned on the map choice, and I thought it was Kings Row.
Circuit is also a Widow map. Circuit's also a Widow map.
Yeah. But Kings Row makes for the more fun clip farming because there's more high ground for you to just grapple to and just take a pot shot or two and get kills that way, which is always the more entertaining clip farming than just standing in a corner and just pew pew pew.
Circuit is a little more a little less nuanced.
Yeah.
We can say. But the fun one, happiness and joy. We're going to Kings Row.
We do see SVSU. I believe they opted to take attacker side. If they. Or is it who won? I keep forgetting because technically speaking, you're supposed to do it, but some teams end up not doing it because it's like we're fine where we are, and so it's like it's like, which is like fine. It's perfectly fair and balanced because like arguably, you want to be like attacking first, if in some situations because it's like if you know that you're good on a map, you might as well just attack first and get like push as far as you know you can get, and then you understand like where the barrier is, where like how much you have to really step up your game to make sure that they don't hit that level of progress, you know. Personally though, for like Kings Row, if I were playing, I prefer to be on defense first, arguably because you know guaranteed that you can always stop better than you can like push, arguably, because it's a bit because you have better setup positions. You set up pre-fight. You can set up pre-fights a lot easier if you're a support player, which I am. Because like there's a downtime and it's easier to come back from defender spawn than attacker spawn to set up for a good support line.
I find the defense or attacker first discussion fascinating, and I think you bring up some great points. Speaking, we still see the Pharah, by the way. Ooh. This is fascinating. I'm really excited to cast for the rest of this. We're gonna keep seeing the Pharah. Solid character, great poke. At dueling is a strength, but maybe not as like meta normal as Echo, but I think has some strengths over Echo.
There's a lot more burst damage on Pharah in comparison to Echo, because Echo just really has stickies, but Pharah's entire kit is burst damage.
You hit two of those pew pews, or that ult just immediately blows someone up. Oh man, two kills coming out right at the start there. This is a really fascinating spot for Pharah to fight from. I never considered this. You can tell this person plays a lot of this character. This is gonna be fun to watch. Getting into the back line, finding those kills, poking from afar, poking from Pharah, perchance.
Honestly, I like where that setup is, because you step out the window just a little bit, you look down, and you have perfect line of sight into the hotel, which is a very common way for people to push if main's not going well. They'll push through the hotel. But then you just shoot through the doorway, and it's like it's free real estate. And you still have options, because if they go around to take the high ground, you still have direct line of sight of the high ground, and you can concuss everyone off the high ground, and they're all out of position.
Yeah, I didn't consider how strong a concuss could be on this map. Because the high grounds are really small, just putting the blast on the back wall there, just getting everyone off the wall is very consistent and a lot more reliable.
Yeah. We see Bojangles here trying to take a farther position, trying to like get some forward pressure.
You see, it is kind of working, keeping the support line from flanking. We see the far and the back line, that'll be interesting too. But the front line is going crazy as Zippy and Reggie both find some kills. This is really scrappy and spread out. We're going to see who comes out on top. Kills are flying both directions. Reggie's really low. There's the Ana. Zippy's going to win. I need healing.
Yeah, we see SVSU kind of forcing them behind the bridge, and I think someone's in a hotel actually. The Ramacha's in a hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, the Annihilate try to contain point, but he does get hit instantly. Ooh, that's a rough one.
I need healing.
Yeah. We see Ash and Farah trying to contain the high ground. We see Sombra hacking the Farah to guarantee that the Farah cannot escape after it initiate. Which is kind of, I feel like, the best way to counter high level Farah is because they understand like their reach, how far they can go into certain hit scan characters. So if you just play Sombra and just say now you don't have your escape tools, now you go overextended.
Yeah.
Really convenient way to like counterplay the like high level Farahs.
Especially because Farah is, movement, and with those, that's like the only thing they can do to stay alive. That's cool.
Exactly. We see, honestly, the high level is so good because you see a lot of creativity in how they play. Because Sombra, you wouldn't think they go play in the Farah because it's an SMG. You're not going to do a lot of damage. Yeah. But the utility attack is just huge against Farah. I mean, and even still, like, even not against Farah, you see the Sombra just bullying the support line.
There it is, there's all that damage. The Pro Archers finds a kill with that ult and stays alive. That's so impressive with Farah. Not dying when pressing your ult is an insane skill to have. The Ana's also, huge shout out to Soup for staying alive through a lot of engages. They're doing a really good job at taking the duels when getting flanked.
Absolutely. We see Rice opt for the longer barrier timer instead of the typical like the shotgun shots for his minor perk here, which is kind of interesting. I feel like. Oh, EMP is gonna make that kind of useless though. Lots of early burst damage. Got the Far, got the Ana, now got the Juno. It's kind of just the Ramachas running in the backlines at this point. They can't SVSU clutch the fight.
I think the Annihilate to try to find some kills. Moon is finding a whole bunch, and Rice will do another. Bojangles in the back might be able to duel the tank.
Bojangles, can you
but there's no. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe. Oh, Rice is alone. Other Saginaw people are coming back.
Everyone's coming back though. That's the problem. Like they've extended the fight so long that everyone's like all the stackers are coming back. So it's almost a moot point. We see Genji trying to find the Sombra.
Switching over to Genji here instead of the Farah. A little bit more lethality when getting in the back line. And that consistent and Blade as well can still be very brutal. We see the Nano coming out trying to protect this Ramantra from the overclock from Sojourn. Gets naded by SVSU's Ana. No Rice is going to be huge for Saginaw because it means that they can really start having free reign here. Although they're kind of getting pincered almost. The Ana got a really crucial kill on the Reggie. They're taking on a lot of SVSU's like overhead pressure, and like they're being pincered by Ash, the Juno, and the Ana. Like there's so much damage from coming from any angle. I don't think they can really like afford like. The attention is such a crucial resource at this level that they can't afford to like ignore them and just push forward. We see the dual Juno is coming out, but Delaware's not really taking advantage much of their Juno. They kind of backed out of it, which is unfortunate for them. Giving SVSU kind of the free space on the card. He's going to push up and create that space. They just can't get this Ramantra off the point here, despite the ult that are being thrown out. SVSU's keeping everybody alive. The sleep, it will put Vinny down for a few seconds, and the fight's going to continue. Ramantra in the backline will get out a little bit of damage, but won't be able to find too terribly much other than one kill on the Zippy. Hitting Bojangles, finding a couple extra, and Saginaw will get that last a little bit that they need to take the second point. Onto this last part here. Normally, push maps or maps with push in them, like hybrid, will be set up such that the first parts of it are much more attacker sided and the end is more defender sided. But this is one of those instances where, I don't know, I see attackers get to the end of this section quite a bit. It feels like they have a lot of opportunity to get onto high grounds, use the room to their advantage, and especially because the last little bit of it goes down and you get that high ground, it can be tough as a defender.
Exactly, especially with SVSU not having EMP, so you're trying to see Bo Giant here trying to go for try to guarantee that you get the ult charge here for EMP to kind of guarantee the fight. Getting a lot of damage onto the Ana. Can they get the Ana?
Maybe Suba's really low, but so is Bo Giant. Will get taken out in the back line, but everyone was focused in the back. Yeah, there's the attention. Ramatra are Saginaw gonna pop it. They are gonna pop it. They're gonna fight it. Fight the Nano with their own. It might not be as much damage as they want, but staying alive will be huge. Bryce is gonna get as much as possible. Will find a kill before backing out, and Saginaw's just gonna have to disengage.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that ultimate wasn't necessarily to try to like force Delaware back, but more so to make sure that Video makes it out of there alive. Gives someone a brick. Gives the Reggie there the opportunity to have a brick wall to stand behind. Hopefully, try to just live through it as much as possible. Just making sure that enough people are alive so you're not staggered terribly like horribly, so you can make sure that you get this final push in. We see them kind of splitting off. We see the tanks dueling off on point here. The far along Anane getting some. Ooh, the blade though.
The blade with the nano to keep everybody alive, and you had the double nano. And Genji can't find anything, but all that distraction will be enough for Delaware to find the kills that they need. Oh, that was really interesting play.
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of rough. They're really kind of forced here. They need it, like SVSU. What they want to do here is try to make sure that they can get in without the soldier getting too much of an ult charge. It's almost guaranteed for the fight, but if you can pull it out, they pulled Juno really early. That's huge for Saginaw, I think.
Oh, EMP! EMP's gonna hit absolutely everybody, and there's a nade in the back line. Bojiden goes down, but the rest of the team is so set up. Ramatra's gonna get really low. The sleep dart's not gonna land. Invidi's just gonna be able to run to the back line and get a bunch of kills before going down. I think that'll be enough setup.
You know, got the ultimate, but no one's there.
No one's there. The overtime's gonna take down. I thought Saginaw had that for sure with the EMP.
Unfortunately,
Delaware's gonna take it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the backline there could not stay alive long enough. So it was just Biddy and the Juno on point, and the Ramatra fell down before the Juno could take effect in its full extent. But even still, considering they made it halfway through second point, SVSU made an amazing push here for this level of play. Especially like the higher we go, the rarer it is for an escort or a hybrid map like this to really get to the final point. It feels like.
I'm wondering what we're going to see from Saginaw on the defense here. We've been known to throw some interesting picks at maps on occasion, and what do we expect? What do we expect? What are you thinking? Ramatra stays. Yeah, I think Ramatra might stay. Immediately not Ramatra. No, and there's the Ramatra. I was going to throw out the Junkrat as a guess.
Junkrat's not too bad, but Junkrat I feel like it forces you to play around statue too much. Just to reliably
get the choke points as well.
Like you're lobbing through the choke points, but like you have to reliably get the choke points. You're either playing around statue, like you're ducking behind the statue back and forth, hitting either choke point, or you're in a hotel. Both the way are really far up and kind of make it a rough spot for your supports to really get you from the ideal positions of like right behind that hotel corner, because there's just not a whole great line of sight there. So it's just one of those moments, or like it's Big Ben. Sorry, like getting in this corner as a support line, it makes it really hard for you to see like the statue line of sight. So like it forces you kind of out of position from what you ideally want. And you see, so as we see here, taking the high ground perspective, you got May on the foreground because you know that May wall is going to keep her relatively safe. She got ice blocked. She's right in front of the support line. She'll be okay. So you can have the tank and the Ash trying to take the high ground. We see him running around, getting a real good burst damage on May. May. Does SVSU pick up the pieces? We see Vinny's really low, but Delaware's kind of split. You've got the tank taking a lot of forward pressure, but they're all in the back still.
Saginaw's going down one at a time here. I don't know if they're going to be able to hang on for too much longer. They're finding a kill here and there. Viddy finds one, but down goes Reggie. Down goes Viddy. And Delaware's going to get that on their first push. That'll be a lot of time on the clock. Gives them a lot of wiggle room. The Genji is a good pick here. I think both of the supports in the back kind of struggle with Genji. Juno can fly around a little bit, but especially Baptiste. Usually the escape option for Baptiste, or the way to stay alive in a duel, is to jump. But but Genji's already jumping around up there, so using your jump, you're just getting closer to him, and you don't want to have to use your main cooldowns. I think Genji's a really solid pick for dueling and and distracting Saginaw's backline.
Exactly, but likewise, you see May being really crucial here. You forced out the wrong. The May, the May was perfect here. It kind of blocked the Ramatra in to where it couldn't really get a whole lot of like. If you push it too far forward, he just falls over instantly. So you have to stick to the May wall. But even then, it's kind of rough. It's rough for the Ramatra getting value. Plus, you have Ice Block to just save yourself in a situation like that. So we see Rice going down really quickly, despite the nade. And Vidi's keeping up in spite of that too, popping the Annihilate. As you see, like this is just a clean-up fight for SVSU just because of one Maywall.
Maywall is just such a cool ability at high level, and the way it controls fights, the way you control enemy players is very unique to anything else in the game. I don't think there's pretty much anything other than Hazard that can do something like that. Cut off your line of sight so completely.
Exactly. We do see though that like we're playing a bit more passive here, trying to get people in the good setups. We see the May ult come out. Ooh, that's gonna be a rough one. He did get the arms off, but he's walled off from the team at this point. Can he survive?
Arms are such a crazy ability. Staying alive for a very long time will finally get bursted down, and Delaware's gonna have to back up a little bit. However, they do have 5 ults in the bank to use. Saginaw doesn't have too much to repel, although Window is really good at stopping pushes. Just throwing that down on a high ground and going down is insane. The Juno ult is just a straight stat buff to your team and is good in every situation. We'll see if they can use it, but of course, Delaware's gonna have their own, and a Nano Blade in the back line might just shred Saginaw. I feel this is a fight they lose, and they'll have to defend right at the end. There's the Nano Blade.
Oh,
it's so good.
Gives
there.
SVSU the reaction time that even though he does pick up Vidi, it gives SVSU the time to kind of be able to react to it effectively. Meaning that was so huge. They pick up Bryce with it too. So that's just 2 ults down, low-key down the drain for Delaware. We see Reggie coming out with Overclock, trying to put some forward pressure to force them off the cart. Bo Jiden really sticking to his name there, being a very pog player.
There's the Juno wall.
There's the Juno wall.
And the counter from Saginaw, so neither team has the advantage. Who's gonna blow up first though? Down goes one from Saginaw. Down goes Lamp.
But we see the Window come out in a retrospect too. So it's kind of SVSU has the zoning power to keep them off the cart. We see Reggie here trying to take the Sojourn duel, try to minimize the flanking pressure of her. As Ramatra kind of gets pulled away from the team and they start trading backlines, can SVSU pull it back?
A lot of damage there onto the Ana will go down. Rice will find a number of kills. Reggie's trying to take the duel, but there's just too many of them. And as I thought, while played very well, Saginaw did have to back up from that fight. They might not even be able to contest this. Oh, it got canceled. It didn't go down.
Unfortunate.
That's going to be really rough. What? With 3+ minutes on the clock and not even the full distance required to push. They're sitting pretty right now. Delaware's got plenty of time and not too much space to cover.
Exactly, and even still, SVSU still has a shot at this. You've got a lot of forward pressure coming out from Vidi. He picked the more offensive perk for the Ramatra's Minor, so there's a lot of forward pressure that he can exude onto the tank and like squishies. So you're kind of forcing the Ramatra to stick to the cart. He can't really push forward, or else he's just gonna get blown up. Even still, like. It's just such a rough fight for Delaware because they have to really delegate how they play their arms really consistently here. They have to be super specific about it. They can't afford to screw up the arms timing. We see the Annihilates come out from both sides here, into both Juno rings. Rice goes down so quick because Bo Jiden picked up the Junkrat, hitting the burst damage.
Saginaw chasing down the rest of the players as they win that team fight. There's a minute off the clock right there.
And guaranteed another 30 seconds to get back. That's only a minute 30. That's not much more time than Saginaw had coming into this on the previous map. So there's really going to come down to 1 or 2 more fights. Can Delaware really pick this back up again?
We're looking at a Nano Blade here. Can Saginaw make a similar play to last time? Ooh, that's going to be a lot of zoning. That's going to make it really hard for Genji. There's the Blade. There's the Nano. There's one.
There's Reggie.
Maybe finds another. There's the kill onto Reggie. Another onto the arms, or from the arms. I think that'll be most of Saginaw. A little bit of cleanup left.
A little bit of cleanup. But we do have the Juno last minute to potentially touch if possible. Cannot do long enough. But can they get back?
3 on. It's going as fast as possible.
You see Reggie coming out. Can Reggie touch?
Trying.
Oh, Venture! Ah!
Can't quite.
Again, Bojana with these small little bit, just too slow to get in there. That is map 2 for Delaware. No. Yeah, map 2 for Delaware.
Yeah, map 2 for Delaware. Map 2. Pity with the play of the game. I'm wondering if Saginaw, what Saginaw's thinking right now, because these have been very close. The fights are not like stomped. It's very, very winnable on the comp that they have. But I'm wondering if they're looking at what's going on, the two kind of similar comps, and saying, hey, what if we try something different? What if we like picked a map that's a little bit off? What if we picked a comp that's a little bit off and try to shake something up? Right now, University of Delaware is just sitting that like half step above, getting consistently a few more kills, winning consistently a couple more team fights, and are just that little bit ahead in the match pretty consistently. So it's gonna be up to Saginaw to really make the changes here, to really make the plays, pick the odd characters, the odd maps, and make something work, or maybe switch up the line who's in right now, who's playing, switch up who's on what role. They're gonna have to take the initiative. They're gonna have to take the initiative, and the final map, or map 3, is push. Right? Yeah, push. I kind of remember. I almost remembered from last time. Yeah. And if we go there, from there is Flashpoint for 4.
Flashpoint is 4, and then it's the other end of hybrid or escort for map 5.
Okay. And we just did hybrid, so it would be escort.
Yes,
it would be escort. So ban, I saw. Was that New Queens was the ban? If I'm not mistaken.
There's only 3 left.
Esperanza is where we're headed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, though, I feel like for SVSU, I don't even know if it's necessarily like the odd picks, because the picks they were having made it work. Because you had the Junkrat that kind of like, you saw the Ramatra was pushing in really far. Okay, let's go Junkrat. Junkrat bullies the shield, bullies Omnic form, pressures the arms because you got concussive mind to throw him up in the air, kind of like all the displacement and kind of forcing the Ramatra back from being as aggressive as he can be, you know? You've got Reggie on dedicated flank assist, making sure that he's taking care of the flanker. There's a couple of times where like communication might be a bit, could also be play there, because there's a couple times where we saw like Viddy go off to help with the flank, and then Ramatra walks into the back line. It's like, oh wait, maybe we don't do that. So like it's those little micro adjustments, those little like micro things that's like you're not even like on a mechanics level. It's just about a game sense level. Like, and even still, there was a couple times during that where we saw Delaware had like 3, 4, 5 ults, and SVSU having like 1, maybe 2. Like the level of ult economy and like ult tracking to make sure, hey, are we matching ults for ult? Are we able to win with the ults that we have? And if we can't win with the ults that we have, what can we do to make sure that the ults that we can have will win the trade, so we're not blasting 3, 4 ults to win a team fight?
That's a good point. That's a good point. We'll see where it goes. Ooh, this is a map. This is the map. I'm going to say, now I know there was a big patch, and so the meta is going to shift around a little bit. But we do see some of the player swaps in. I think we're still going to see the dive. I think we're going to see Viddy on the monkey. Maybe we'll see us Sojourn, something like that. Maybe Tracer, Genji. And I'm going to say that, and then it's going to be the exact opposite, because that's how casting works.
I was going to say, personally for me, I'm expecting Queen to come out here.
Expecting the Queen?
Because like,
this is fair. It's a good pick on this map.
Especially if you're going to play Ramatra. If you're playing the Ramatra Premier, it's about the backline, right? So realistically, what's stopping you from just like on King's Road in particular, you don't go Queen because she has no high ground access. She doesn't have any poking potential to prevent high ground from being taken. You know, there's no barrier, there's no shield that she can pop up there. There's no like her gun is in very long range, so it's not, there's not a lot of hindrance for them to take the high ground. So it's kind of, it becomes free low for the others if you go Junker Queen. But on Esperanza, which is fairly open, a lot of really quick ways to get the high ground, you could go Junker Queen and you could just bum rush them and say, screw you, Ramatra, we're going after your backline, and they're not allowed to have the game. They're gonna go play Death Screen Simulator real quick as we just commanding shot with a Tracer or a Genji and just go boop boop boop. You know.
Mayhaps. It's a fun. It's always a fun comp to watch, and I would not be opposed to watching it. We'll see what they go for. Was this map reworked at all?
No.
Didn't get anything.
I don't.
No, okay.
None of the push. The only push the map that got anything was Coliseo because everyone hated
the glass.
The
glass. Yeah.
The glass is the biggest vexation because I saw that and I'm like, I really want to just walk through the glass right now. It'd be so nice if I could just walk through the glass right now. It was just a common thought I'd have playing that map because it's like, it takes so long to have to go all the way back like 2-3 columns to go around and like fight on the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
It just was not. There's no convenience, and it just made the game feel choppy, and it just made it so Widow was just dominating because you just stand on a corner, you see 3 different sight lines, and be like, okay. But yeah, it's just okay because you can literally just go take pot shots and you just have fun.
Speaking of exactly what you were talking about, there's the commanding shout and the Genji and the kinda tracer,
The kind of tracer.
the edgy tracer.
That was like one of the big things because I've been sitting in the Discord for the past couple of days and just taking notes. One of the things SVSU really was like making crucial points about was that their biggest selling point was how fast they could get elims. Their elim potential is huge, especially with rush comps, because they have the speed and they have the ability to just take the kill confirms to begin with. So there really is no downside for them to be playing rush. And as we see here, we see the Sombra forcing out the tracer off the flank. As like we see them kind of trading sides almost, as we see Delaware playing from Saginaw's side. Or wait. I might have that backwards. I think I have this backwards. No, I don't have this back. Yes, I don't know. I'm confusing myself.
We're getting to the point where it's been a lot of casting. But Soup's doing a great job staying alive here. Both the support lines have been good. At that first map, there was a lot of deaths really quickly, but now it slowed down. Sports have really found their stride.
And a good thing here.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Good Suzus from both sides. A lot of very disciplined Suzus. You're not like reacting too scared about or too panicky with your Suzus. You're always being very crucial with it. Like you like the Soup got hacked, was kind of low HP with the virus. Okay, I'm gonna go Suzu myself because there's no big burst damage or like any antis that I need to save it for. I can afford to use this on myself for the moment. You know, keeping that discipline and making sure like, hey, if I use this now, I'm still gonna have it if there's a lower like HP and encounter at the end. Like that discipline is what truly sets apart a lot of the upper tiers of players from your general like gold lobbies.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ooh, the fight there on the side getting kind of scrappy. Viddy's gonna have to back up a little bit. There's the Maywall. Catch Viddy out and will go down. What a capitalization! The entire team just immediately, no supports. Got into the back line or jumped on Viddy, and as he was cut off from his back line.
Yeah, Bojani coming out with a really clutch escape because as Lucio was shooting down the corridor. Lucio trying to find the Sombra.
Poke, poke, poke. He bullets from afar.
Ding, ding, ding.
Sombra is a fun character to watch. That's for sure.
Exactly.
I enjoy watching this.
We see the Annihilate come out picking off J-Rod, unfortunately for SVSU. But we see the Joker Queen trading the backlines relatively well.
There's there's a wall there. Jumped out from behind the corner, and suddenly there was a wall. Rice finding a few more kills as everyone starts to go down. Just Crispy left alive. So Saginaw will lose the lead there on the bot, but it's not too far. What is that skin? That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't see a bio with the skin.
Where I'm intrigued what Saginaw is gonna do with the ults here. Because I don't know how you set up the blade. I don't know what part of the team. I mean, if you throw the Kiriko, I feel that's more for like the front line. I don't know what you can do to help out your Genji with the blade. Maybe just distract people. Oh, the Mayo is gonna get the freeze onto said Genji. Whoa. Oh, the ult was ending. Like, how did he escape?
Yeah. Honestly, Genji kind of just stalling out the bot is kind of just useful because he's just so mobile that it's kind of hard to do. We see the blade come out, forcing out Ice Block, forcing the Q2 slap. No cooldowns and Kyrios is going to be useful for the Pharah potentially. Unfortunately, just not enough to be able to sustain out of that. I don't know how SVSU combats this. How do they, like, what level, like, do you just go arrest and start being like, okay, we can't rush them. Do we become the wall that stops them instead? We see SVSU's beat come out with the Kitsune rush, as Delaware beats as well. Can SVSU pick up enough damage, enough cooldowns out of this to be able to sustain themselves?
I don't know if they have the momentum here. They're kind of paused as all the health bars get a little bit low. Moon finds a kill onto Bo Gaiden, and the wall to separate the team. And Saginaw pick it back up. A little bit of damage. Genji taking the pressure. Nah, there's the gear goal. I think Delaware did a fantastic job there of not letting themselves get pushed over. And now they're reversing it, running back over Saginaw, finding a couple kills. Somebody's gonna have to back up. Trying to find the kill with the Pharah ult, which is crazy. We have another Pharah. But that happened again. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do anything. They're kind of slowed down at this point. Delaware has to win one more clean team fight here.
Yeah, the fight in the corridor is kind of rough for a lot of teams because there's not a lot of cover in this corridor. So you have to kind of play back. We see them trading backlines. We see the Annihilate pop out. Does SVSU respond with an ult? We see them come with a Junker Queen ult. The Junker Queen come back to the team. Can they sustain? Can they live through this?
I don't know if they're gonna have anything left. There's one more shot. Not really any ults. And especially if you have the Mei ult to stop anyone from contesting the point. Was the Mei not around? Oh, the Mei might be walking back. Moon, oh, clean kills. Crispy did find one. There's still a little bit of stall left. Pushing the tank off.
Yeah, you have the ball. You had the Venture there. Get under, burrow underneath for some good sustain. Can SVSU keep the contest?
Hey, yeah, most of them are back at this point. If they can get the Mei ult on point, though, Delaware might just have it. No, they'll have to back up.
I think they left it back because if they ulted that with just the 3 of them, I don't think there's enough damage to kill confirm. Mei does not have a good burst potential, and you need the railgun to really do anything on Sojourn for effective burst damage. But the beat to guarantee the supports get out, does it do work or is it a wasted cooldown?
Hey, they're still fighting it out. There's a solid shot of something happening here. Oh, but the kills are going the other direction. Kiriko's ult goes so hard as Saginal's gonna have to back up. Oh, the Lucio movie is so fun to watch. I wonder what they're gonna do. So they still.
I think what Lucio does here is he beats himself to go touch the and like make sure the bot does not cap.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. Beat as early as possible to stay alive. There's the Mei ult, gonna get the freeze doesn't go off because of line of sight.
But Crispy gets one with the with the blade. Is this enough to guarantee the fight for SVSU?
Ooh, that was dicey. That could have gone either direction as everyone got low health. Saginaw stays alive. We get to see the classic Vidi ball.
There was a part of me that said he'd go ball instead of monkey. there was a part of me that said this. And honestly, it's kind of very useful because he naturally just runs past the tank anyway because that's how you play ball is you just run past everyone.
Oh yeah, you just ignore.
So like quite literally, like this is gonna be very useful because if they can pull out the vortex from Ramatra, it is just free real estate for the ball. We see SVSU's continue to come out.
Oh, you just backed into the corner there.
But the Annihilate comes out. Does this mean that Delaware pulls it back?
Everyone's out of position from the ball roll. That will get a little bit of extra damage. It's just what Saginaw needs. The mobility there to go impact the fight wherever you need it to be impacted is really strong. We like that. Hey, we talked about in the first stream that push when you make those comebacks from all the way across the map, it'll be really hyped though.
Absolutely, and while this might not be an overtime one, this is definitely the safer version of the overtime push. Yeah. Because in overtime, you lose one team fight, you're gone. But this there's still enough time for SVSU to realistically lose one team fight, but still be able to, like, if they can pull off ult charges or pull off enough of Delaware's ults, for them to really kind of just snowball the overtime.
Get one more fight out of it.
We see Venture ult coming out, trying to pick up some KOs. It doesn't get anyone, but there's a lot of damage under this Ramatra. Picks off the Carry and the Mei. This looks like it's going in SVSU's favor. The Ramatra's almost dead, but gets saved by the Lucio boot.
Still staying alive. There's a couple of players left for Delaware, but the damage is just too strong. Bojiden does go really low. Oh, but no, they will clean it up and chase off the Lucio. They're making it work. They're getting the push.
Exactly. Lucio playing the smart game and saying, I'm not going to try to duel anyone. I'm going to just go sit back and regroup with my team, make sure we can get back there for another fight. That's getting in scary territory now. If SVSU loses now, Delaware doesn't have to move the bot anywhere. They have the lead still. So they can just fully get off the bot and not have to worry about another fight for them, which makes it really hard for SV to do anything. We see the minefield come out onto the point and against the Mayhold, but the B comes in to make sure Venture has enough staying power to get those kills, that damage in those elims, picks off throughout the side. I think SVSU has a shot.
They actually have a shot at this.
SVSU really pulled back. That ball pick has been insane because they have yet to find a crucial counter to prevent this ball from just going ham.
Now, you do have to worry about this Ramatra. The ball is one of the better picks for dealing with Ramatra, as you can knock him into the air and kind of stall what he's doing. as well as just roll right past him. So they definitely have a shot. There's the ult. Oh, will get stopped by the wall. Great play from Delaware. The beat to keep everybody alive from both sides.
We see Crispy fall, but the Annihilate comes out, picks off Mojiden. The Kiri cannot keep SVSU off, I don't think, because they're forced back.
No ults left. It's just up to the plays and the abilities now. The Slam's going to get a little bit of extra damage, but Biddy's going to get pushed off. About 10 seconds left on the clock. Saginaw cannot afford to wait this team fight. Someone's going to have to make overtime happen.
I think it has to be Biddy. I think Biddy's the only one close enough to do
it.
it.
The boop.
But
the boop might be enough.
But the Wrecking Ball.
It is enough to trigger the overtime.
There's enough there, and he has the overhealth. Can he get out, though, to make sure that he can stay alive for the team to provide the peeling?
Crispy's back, along with one or two more. Although you can't block the freeze. Will make it out with the Kiriko ability to. It's enough.
This is so rough.
Shadow Wing does find one. Crispy finds another. Back and forth, about 3v3.
We have minefield. We have the minefield to protect SVSU. Give them a little bit more space, bit of breathing room.
Crispy goes down. John goes down. Just the ball left.
Wait, ball.
Just the two dots.
He can't touch. Delaware.
What a last team fight. What a last team fight. It was looking real back and forth there for a sec. That was a lot of fun. But University of Delaware's Academy team will make it. That was a fun match to watch. That was a really fun match. Oh. And the picks did end up getting a little bit weird. The ball did come in pretty clutch though. That was a lot of fun to watch. But that will be it for what we got. University of Delaware winning 3-0. They'll get to keep going. Saginaw will have to pack it up for the season. Great game. GG's to Delaware and anyone who stopped by from that side. Thanks for coming by. And I think for the final time. No, because Rocket League is still. So I'm not gonna lie. There will be more stream, or at least more games. But at least for Overwatch, that'll be it for the season. Oh man. That was fun. That was a good time. Thank you so much, everyone who stopped by. I've been Aquatic.
I've been a Sword of Thunder. We say thanks to everyone who's played, every team that we've played over this great old season. Can't say there's been a bad interaction with anyone. Really had some great games. Lots of perfectly well-rounded games that where even if it was kind of a 3-0 victory, it wasn't just a curb stomp. It was they were all well fought. Great players all around. And in terms of Overwatch, we shall see you next year. And for the rest of you that are interested in the Rocket League, that's what, Tuesday?
Thursday.
Alrighty.
That'll be it. And by the way, anyone else from Saginaw who's watching, please come down and join. You do not have to be very good. Some of people on C teams, for instance, started out on bronze and they made the team. So hop on down. We got Overwatch, Valorant, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Super Smash Bros. And maybe another thing.
Mayhaps.
We'll leave it as a mystery. Because I don't know if that's going to be... I don't know. We'll leave it as a mystery. That's all for now. So until Thursday, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for stopping on by. Yeah. And good luck with finals.
Absolutely.
See y'all.